just about sailing, May 2021. This one is mostly about finishing off the surface with the Formica. Almost all of the Formica-ing is now done, and this is the getting the surface ready where the cooker is going, where the stove is going, and so on, and cutting that out, which was actually surprisingly difficult. And it's contact adhesive. I don't particularly get on with woodwork, I don't particularly get on with contact adhesive. It went better than I was expecting, but anyway. If you're relatively new to this channel, my name is Paul. My apprentice is my daughter Lucy, who you'll be seeing later. This is, although there's a lot of DIY going, this is not a DIY channel. I'm not telling you how to do things. Most of the time I'm kind of speaking out loud and just saying how I've approached things. It's going very slowly. When's the boat going back in the water, people ask? I've got absolutely no idea. I've had an ongoing health problem for the last couple of years. So it means that everything you see in the video, that's about a month's worth of work. That's as fast as it's going to go, but it is going in the right direction. Slight changes to plans, in as much as I was going to finish the Galley completely, but we've had to get diverted to another project because of changes with Lucy. Fish are apparently now coming out of lockdown, so there's marine biology stuff. Anyway, we'll update you on that later on. What else? Yeah, I'm not normally this formal in this introduction, but I've got the executive producer of the programme looking over my shoulder, and you're always a bit more nervous when your boss is watching. More from him later, possibly. So let's get on with it. The first thing to do is to cut out some pieces of wood and make them fit in what is really quite an awkward shape. Right, so if I was a CNC computer, I'd probably lay these out like this. This, unfortunately, won't quite fit in there, and I want to try and use the right angles as much as possible for the critical bits. And also this main top has to be pushed back about 1 centimetre because of the way that I'm putting the fiddles on the side. Now a sensible thing would be to put to cut this out of the middle bit, but I'm actually not going to, because this is the bit the cover that goes over the actual stove. And the reason I'm not going to is because I want as many right angles that are pre-cut as possible. And I actually ordered 3 sheets of this size to do the reinforcement of the anchor locker winch, and I have cut out all those pieces. The anchor locker thing, I have cut out all these pieces and still have got some left over. So getting the sink in the right place is key. What I'm going to do is take the old template, because I tried the sink in this. This cutout has been cut out very badly because I kind of lost patience a little bit with the fact that, as I say, they don't supply a template. Oops. Helps if you put it in the right way around, doesn't it? So I'm just going to pop this on back here. And I've put it where it was before, so the sink's where it was before. There's actually a 1 centimetre because I added a centimetre on there. And I'm going to draw around on the inside so that I know where it does fit, and I can also compare it with the proper template. For those who haven't seen my sink before, you might think, wow, that's a big sink. Yeah, it's a big sink. I've got that line on there. Oh, I'll close this because that messes up the way the camera looks at things. And the idea here is to put this on upside down, just so that I have an idea. No, I should. I don't think there is enough room for a hand here. Just so that, without shifting stuff around. See with the outer edge. You can probably see the outer edge. There isn't very much of it, look. That's all the lip.
That is quite small.
That is quite small. I mean, it's strong enough to hold it, obviously, but that's...
But you bought it to be compact, right?
I bought it to be clever, and it is clever. Well, you see... Sorry, Lucy's just criticised me for being not professional because the battery light is on. Look, it depends on which direction you look at it from. Sometimes it looks red and sometimes it looks green.
Yeah. I mean, the green light is above it.
So I think the fact that red and green are on at the same time... Do you know what we're doing? We're just wasting battery time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, so...
Isn't that your whole channel?
My whole channel is wasting people's battery time. That's true. Don't talk about batteries. I've just ordered another battery for my little laptop. My big laptop isn't working at all. I've ordered a new power supply for it. So there might not be a video this. Hey look, there's a hair in here from obviously when it was varnished the very first time. It's two.
That wasn't me.
So professional build. So yeah, there's a bit of a lip on here and I want to make sure there's enough room because there will be a piece going along here. Hopefully what you can see here is that the inside line and the outside line are pretty much parallel, and although the inside line is wobbly because that's what I roughly cut out, nothing's changed too much, which is good. So I shall make a decent template. Right, very windy day today, so I hope this microphone thing is working. I've measured round the edge and it's about 1.5, and when I say about 1.5, it's kind of different. It's different. It's not particularly accurate. So, and I think what I must have done before, because I've forgotten it was so long ago, was simply to measure 1.5 from where I've drawn the outside part. So I'm going to do that again. I'm not going to make a template. Basically, just have to draw these lines and then smooth off the corners. And take it from there. It seemed to work last time, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to literally measure this up, clamp it down, and then get the jigsaw out. That's not too bad. It's not. It's not great. Actually, is that the best one? They're all pretty much for muchness, but it doesn't really matter. So let's see. I put the sink upside down on there. Let's see if it fits. Hang on. So that's upside down. So that side's got to be down. That's the side nearest the bendy bit. So wow. There's probably a little bit more slack than I would have wanted around the edges, about 3 millimeters, but that's okay because it gives me a bit of wriggle room to adjust it, and it's certainly on the lip. I cut this L-shaped bit out a little bit early. I've drawn in the curve at the back by putting the plywood, which is underneath here, which is still in 2 pieces, on the top and drawing around it. Now what I've done is this is on top of the plywood, and I'm going to router it, but of course it's not glued down, so I'm a bit nervous about this. So what I think I'm going to do is clamp it down a bit better than it is now, and then just do tiny little sections at a time to kind of keep this together, because I can't think of any other way of neatly cutting this. I could do it with a sharp knife, but the odds of me going off are very high. The odds of this... Anyway, I'm doing my normal trick of procrastinating, but I'm going to procrastinate a little bit more. I'm going to sit down and have a cup of tea. Oh, and then do this. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. Well, I'm super delighted with that. That saves me a lot of hassle. There is a lovely, lovely smooth cut all the way along there. I'm actually going to cut the two ends using the same method. Right, I'm using thickened epoxy. I feel it's getting warm already actually, so it's nice to be back using epoxy. I'm actually using 406 for no particular reason other than I happen to have quite a lot of it for reasons which I won't necessarily go into. By the way, just apropos of nothing, the West Systems fillers, this one is actually 409, but I ran out of the 406, so I went online and ordered another one of these, except apparently they do them in different sizes, so I'm not going to run out of 406 anytime soon. So that's all had a nice layer of just basic mixed epoxy just to soak it in, although obviously it's not going to soak in a lot here, but I've put a nice tooth on that. And let's get spreading this. Right, this is why epoxy is superior to contact adhesive, because you can kind of slide things around a bit before it completely sets. Look, that doesn't matter, I can move it around. Fantastic. So this is the bit where I just get this fitted. Of course I wasn't pointing the camera in the right direction, but I needed to move it a millimetre for that to fit. I'm just going to press it down and then try again just in case it shifts around. Right, Lucy is looking to earn some chocolates today, and I could only think of a couple of small cleaning jobs in it. I realised that all this wood here, there is piles of it, is actually stuck in, on and around the thing that used to be behind the sink, which you can't even see. I don't think there's... That's it. Can you see where my finger is? That bit of wood there? So this all needs to come out. I've popped stuff in pockets. That is going to be a horrendous job to do, but it's got to be done. So I've got a nice surprise for her when she wanders up after having had her lunch. So there we go, all sorted.
I'm going to get some water and rinse them out.
And Lucy, who I'll show you in a minute, she's wandering off to get some more water. Lucy is cleaning the sink. And this is all the wood that needs to go back somewhere. Right, so this is the thing that was hiding behind all of that stuff. It's where the cups used to go in here, and plates and things of different sizes used to go in there. But the back is so useful that I want to kind of keep it, reuse it, put Formica on it. Not sure whether to take this right back so that it's flat or to keep some of these dividers. Really don't know. And in the meantime, Lucy is doing a very valuable job. Was there any glue or anything stuck on it?
Yeah.
Can you peel it off with your fingernails?
I don't really have any fingernails.
We'll grow some.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay. Should I do this on a time lapse? Oh, I wish I had better software that I could actually make your nails grow long.
That'd be gross.
Did you say gross or great? The other thing I'm going to do, this has just been a gap that's kind of rounded off. I'm going to put a drawer in here for knives and forks and things, and I'm going to square that off. So I'm going to keep the dimensions but just square it off so that there's as little cutting as possible. So there you go, that was simple enough with one of these. That will be neatened up later, and it's basically, I didn't video it, but it's just cutting these little things out with etc. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep bits of it. It will make a nice template for a nice backing. These things are useful, but not very useful. And down by the sink, there is just enough room for the lip of the sink to kind of fit on there. So I don't know. I'm going to get the Formica on, then I'm going to make a decision about what to do with that. I might keep some of it, keep the cups bit, cut the rest down, put Formica over it, and then at least I've got something which I know fits. I don't know, the jury is out on that one, so that's not an immediate issue that needs to be sorted. Right, I didn't film the the gluing of that because it started to pour down with rain, and so I had to close all the covers, and I didn't have a light. I've just rushed downstairs down to the outside to get a light and obviously sit outside for 20 minutes while this is drying, because it's revolting stuff, it really stinks. And of course I had to close everything up, so sorry about that, but you've seen in the last video all the gluing. So yeah, I'm a tad nervous about doing this, but using these batons worked out so well last time. And then you have time to kind of breathe and think about things and line it up before you actually pull anything, before you actually make any changes, before you do anything where you can't change your mind. There, can you see that? I feel like one of those, you know, the magicians pulling the swords out of the thing, and you're expecting to see somebody who's literally being skewered. Excellent. Right, that is not coming off. And I do wish I'd got a bigger one of these, but hey ho. And obviously the sink's going there, and I'll cut that out later. Right, I've trimmed off this edge. I've drilled a hole through here. This is 24 hours after the last one, by the way. So I can start routering. And I don't think you're going to be able to see this because I'm going to be standing in the way most of the way. I'll see what I can do, but this is going to be very satisfying. Great, let's tidy this up, pop the sink in, put the top on, and let's just have a look at how it looks. This, by the way, at the back is going to be Formica, so that's going to be white. The other side I'm going to keep as natural wood, and in the back, as I said, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that yet. Right, so hopefully you can see that I'm holding this in place at the moment just to show you how large the work area is. And that was, I got a question last month, absolutely valid. Why do I need a shelf? Why can't I just keep the cooker up? And part of the reason is because I need work surface, and this provides me with a good work surface. The Origo stove is going to go underneath. We just take this out because I don't want it to drop. It's a really nice tight fit actually. It's almost an interference fit. These fiddles are going to go back round the sides. This one, which needs a bit more fixing, is going to go back on here, and I've got another piece of wood. The bit that it's exposed is going to go along here as far as that shelvy bit, and then the front of the shelf is going to have a fiddle along there, and I've got all the wood for that, and it's all wood from the original thing. So there we go, very, very happy with that. So right, I was going to do more than that, but the time schedules have changed simply because my apprentice is going away doing marine biology stuff for 6 months, and it makes more sense to get the varnishing work, which she was going to do after I'd finished this, done now. Otherwise it's not going to happen till sort of October time when she's finished that thing. So that has to happen now in the next week or so. So I'm going to put this on hold a little bit, Gives me a chance, I guess, to think about the back. But anyway, we'll have a word with Lucy and she can talk about what the varnishing work, etc., that she's going to be doing shortly.
Can it do the bit where it floats now?
No, you can't do it. No plot.
Wait, can you see my hand?
It's not very good green screen. Right, we're going to have a bit of an advertisement now. All of you know Patrick Laine because you'll follow his channel, and Patrick has just got himself a new boat, which he said he's going to grow old disgracefully, which I think is great. But he did a bit of an advert for his daughter's book, which is it's called, look, let me just point at something. So hang on, let me just point at something. See that? That is what you should be looking at, right? Anyway, Alessia in Atlantis by Nathalie Laine. I bought it for my night. What? Alessia. What did I say?
Alessia.
Alessia. Oh dear. Comments below, please. Anyway, look, we want to make this quick. So I asked Lucy to check through it. I bought it for my 9-year-old great niece, but I wanted to make sure that all the.
I had to read it too, obviously.
We had to read it too, obviously, but I wanted.
We're both in the same reading age.
The reason I wanted Lucy to read it is she's a marine biologist, and I wanted you can put the book down now. That's enough advertising. I wanted Lucy to check it from a marine biological point of view. Is it accurate?
Yes, very.
Very.
We're not supposed to talk about it, but Atlantis is real.
Well, we know Atlantis is real, but the marine biology stuff is real.
Yeah.
Good. So you can give it to your 9-year-old nieces and stuff. Can you give me a little bit of a without a plot spoiler? Did you enjoy reading it first of all?
Yes,
Good.
very much.
Good.
It's very fun.
Good.
It's magic and marine biology and a big adventure and lots of secrets. There's a big plot twist near the end that was very surprising.
Do you know
I
what?
won't say what it
Most
was.
authors put their plot twists at the end rather than right at the beginning.
It would have been really bad if they put the plot twist at the beginning. That wouldn't have worked at all. But
Anyway.
it was at the end.
There you go, Patrick and Nathalie. Good luck with that. I'll put a link to.
Am I good at this?
You're really good at this. I'm going to send this off to the BBC so that. And did you spot the double act? Yeah, see? You've always got somebody looking over your shoulder, haven't you? Yeah, well done. Right, let's finish off this video now. We're going to have a quick review about the varnish work that Lucy is about to do, and then, yeah, anyway. Yeah, the brown paper's downstairs. Do you want to grab that before?
Yeah. Number 3.
Right, so as I said, Lucy is going to do the varnish thing, and we've just written out a huge, great big list of things, which she's just rewriting, because of course as I was going through things, it kind of, oh yeah, but before you do number 2, you've got to do this, so all her numbering system's gone completely wrong. So Lucy is going to do the varnishing, hopefully, because the idea, and I'll put a little note below, I won't do a link, but I'll put a note to note, where we experimented. We're basically going to do a maintenance coat, which is going to be 2 coats of compass, followed by a coat of what's it called? The satin. Oh yeah, don't do these bits.
Yeah.
They might look nice glossy. So these bits with the darker wood, leave those for a while. We'll decide whether they look nice glossy.
So do I still do the first
Still
2?
do the first 2 coats, and then we can decide whether we're going to rub them down and then put a final coat on. It might be nice just to have a bit of gloss, I don't know. And I've just thought of something else I need to do as well. No, I don't. What? You shouldn't write it down. Yes, and the reason for doing this is because this was going to happen after I finished the Galley, but Lucy is going off to do marine biology stuff, which is in a super secret location. I'll just say it's a small, would you say exotic island? It's fairly exotic.
Yeah.
We're not quite sure whether it's inhabited or not. We think it is.
By people, really?
Yeah, by people. I think there's a few people, not whether they're permanently there. Anyway.
And mermaids.
And mermaids. And she's going to be helping a species that, is it endangered?
It's delicious, what?
A species which is both delicious and endangered, which is never a good combination. Is it endangered, or is it just that we want more to get more of them?
We want more.
But
They have
it's not on
severely declined.
They have severely declined.
Up to 95%.
Right, so we're not going to say anyway, that's all super secret, so I'm sure Lucy will have a presentation or something when she's actually finished this, but that's a 6-month deal, so I need to get as much work out of her as possible before she goes, and it's not very long before she goes. So, on that bombshell, see you next month. Well, I won't see you. I've turned the camera off by this bit.
Oh.
There's no point in you doing that. Nobody's going to know what you just did.